Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So my friends at yarnspirations.com. One of my testers designed this. This is called the Crohoodie. In today's video, number 1 of 2, we're going to concentrate just on the hood area. And in number 2, the video, we're going to concentrate on the cowl that is part of the same unit. We are going to be using a 6mm size J crochet hook today in Bonnet Symphony yarn. Today's sample, I am going to be using 2 balls of the same color, but this particular one here was 1 ball of pebbles of color A, and B was pomegranate punch. You can decide to do that if you wish. Her original sample had Loops and Threads Barcelona Big, and that is a private label with Michaels. Without further ado, we're going to get ourselves started right here. I'd recommend that you do a gauge check. We will have that information in the video description. You will see how to check gauge, and that's important for any kind of wearables. You're going to notice is that we're going to concentrate just on the hood area today. Cowl is going to be in video number 2, and you can see that you can roll it up, you can keep it down, you can decide what you want, or fold it up into the inside, and then it will be like a cowl that will go over your face. Let's begin and start this process now. A tip I will leave for you now: if you are not going to follow any kind of coloring, just ignore the color assignment. It says with A, that's an assignment of color, and you can decide to do that. Nancy's version here is that she had it just using the same ball of color, so it didn't matter for her, and you can see it kind of works out as well. So I wanted to keep it fun, and that's why I chose Bonnet Symphony yarn. Let's begin next. So we're going to begin today, and we're going to start, and we're going to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And we'll start our first round immediately by going to the 3rd chain from the hook, and you want to double crochet a total of 12 times. So we'll count these together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So the first chain did not count as a stitch, so you have 12 double crochets, and just join it to the top of the first double crochet with a slip stitch, and that was round number 1. If the hole bothers you, you could just use a strand and just kind of just put it around and pull it shut, but in my case it doesn't bother me at all. So we're going to begin round number 2. To keep the slip stitching nice and tight, we're not going to start off with like chain 3 equals a double crochet because it creates a space. So we're just going to chain 1 to start, and each one of the 12 double crochets you're going to put 2 double crochet in each. This pattern actually goes pretty fast because of the double crochet use. So put 2 double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around, so you should have 12 groups of 2 by the end of the round. I'll see you there in a moment. At the end of the round, just slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet and bring it shut. And with the chain 1 that you did, it closes it in. So we're now going to move on to round number 3. Round number 3, we're going to start with a slip stitch around the first double crochet post. This is the chain 1 here, so you want to ignore that. So you're just going to go behind the post, and we're going to make it as a front post slip stitch. So pull through and through. You're now going to chain 1, and around the same post you're going to put in 2 double crochet front posts. So we have 1 and 2. Around the next post here, it'll be a back post double crochet. So come from the back and keep it to the back side. Okay, we have other tutorials for front post, back post, just in case you need it. So the sequence to go around is that the first one here, this next one, you see how it's in groups of 2, it's always easy to see. The first one is going to be 2 front post double crochet around to the same stitch. And then the next one will be a back post double crochet. So I need you to repeat that sequence all the way around for round number 3. And coming up all the way around, the last stitch is a back post double crochet. That's just a matter of keeping in the sequence, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. So you're going to notice it's kind of bowling up. Don't worry about it, it will flatten out in the next round. Let's move on to round number 4. In round number 3, we concentrated on the front post double crochet, getting 2 stitches to increase the round, but in round number 4, we're going to concentrate on the back post in order to do the increase. So to start this round, you're going to slip stitch around the first front post double crochet first, chain 1, and then double crochet into that same post. So it's just 1 this time, and in the next front post double crochet, you want to make that also a front post double crochet. So the increase is going to happen in the back post double crochet, which is going to be next here. So right here. So you're going to put 2 double crochet back posts around the same stitch. Okay, so the repeat pattern is that the front post double crochet are each going to be a front post double crochet, and then the back post double crochet that's in behind, put 2 back post double crochet around the same stitch. And I need you to repeat that sequence around for round number 4. I'll be right back in a moment. Coming around on number 4, the last 2 are back post double crochet because that's keeping in sequence, and just slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. And let's move on to round number 5. Round number 5, we're going to concentrate on the first front post of each one of the sections to be the increase. So we're going to slip stitch around the front post of the front post double crochet already, chain 1, and put 2 double crochet front posts around that same one. Okay, so this leaves you with 1 lonely front post double crochet, so make that as a front post double crochet by itself. And then the 2 that are here that are in the back posts, make them each a back post double crochet. That's your repeat sequence. So the first one of the front post double crochet, make it have 2 around the same stitch. Make the next one by itself, front post double crochet, and then make the 2 back ones, 1 each back post double crochet. Please do that all the way around for this round. I'll be right back in a moment. The last 2 of round number 5 is both back post double crochet, that's keeping in sequence, and then join with the slip stitch to the beginning front post double crochet. Let's move on to number 6. Round number 6, there's 3 stitches that are making up the front post double crochet. It's going to be the middle one of the grouping of 3 that will have the increase. So you're going to slip stitch around the first front post double crochet, chain 1, and apply 1 front post double crochet around that stitch. So the second one in is going to have 2 front post double crochet around it. So there's your increase. And then the last one of the front post double crochet, it's going to be by itself with a front post double crochet, and then you were on then the back post double crochet for the next 2. The next 2 are back post double crochet, and you're going to complete this for round number 6. I'll see you at the end of the round. The ending of round number 6, you're just going to slip stitch to the beginning front post double crochet. So this is going to be it for this type of ribbing, and we're going to be moving on to round number 7 next. Round number 7, we're going to do another increase, so we're going to chain 1, and around the same, or in the same stitch that you've got the join in, you were going to apply 2 single crochet in it. The next 5 stitches will each be a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then the repeat pattern going all the way around this thing is that the next one's going to have 2 stitches into it, and then the next 5 are by itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And to help you give you an idea for orientation, it's always the first double crochet front post that always gets a 2 when there's a group like this. I'll see you at the end of the round, number 7. End of round number 7, you were just going to join it with a slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. Let's move along in the pattern. In the next part of this pattern, we're going to then start doing the hood area that will leave an opening space for the neck. So just pull up a loop so that it won't fall out. So counting with the first stitch, you need to count to 71 and mark it with an extra stitch marker. So I won't count to 71 on camera with you, but you can just do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll see you at 71 in a second. So I found the 71st stitch, and I'm just going to take a stitch marker and mark it. And so when I'm going to do the next row, because we're now going to go back and forth, we're no longer going in a complete circle, we're going to go from here around, stop, and back. So let's begin the first row next. So looking at the right side of the project, so if you cannot tell the difference between the right side and the wrong side, I highly recommend that maybe you leave this here or put an extra stitch marker in so that you can see what is the right side and the wrong side. So let's just do that because I'm not always sure myself. So I'm just going to just put a stitch marker that will hang out at the right side of the project somewhere that I can remove later. So whenever I see this, I won't see it on the back. Okay, so this will be the right side. So to begin, you're going to chain 1 and put in a half double crochet into the beginning one. So the beginning stitch and the last stitch here, when you do the row, it's going to be a half double crochet, and everything else in between is going to fluctuate between a front post or a back post. In this case, the next stitch out, okay, it's going to be relatively tight, which is what you're looking for, is that you want it to be a front post double crochet. So you're going around the post of the single crochet. And then the next one is going to be a back post double crochet, and you're going to alternate between the two of these stitches all the way to the other side over here. So then the next one is a front post, and the next one will be a back post. So please do this all the way across. If your math is right, then what happens is that the stitch before the end should be a front post double crochet. Keep alternating, and I'll see you at the end of this row in a moment. So I'm coming all the way across. I'm making this is a front post. I told you it should be a front post before the half double crochet goes in on the last. Okay, so there you go. And therefore we have now completed the first row, which is going from here all the way to here. We're going to turn our work and begin row number 2. So we're on the wrong side of the work now. Now, because this is a rib stitching, we have 2 different rows to concentrate on. So row number 2 is slightly different. So we're going to chain 1 and put in a half double crochet into the first, okay? And so then this one here, we can see that it's in behind. We want to keep it behind, so the first one has to be a back post double crochet this time. And we can see that this is in front, and this is going to stay as a front post double crochet. So we're maintaining the ribbing as we see it. So this is in the back, so it's a back post. And then the next one is a front post. So keep alternating between the 2 stitches and come all the way to the other side, and I'll see you there in a moment. At the end of number 2, keeping along with the sequence, the second last one should be a back post double crochet. This looks like there's 2 stitches, but it's just that half double crochet, and you'll make it a half double crochet to finish. So we're going to turn our work back to the right side and begin round number 3 and 4, which is the repeat sequence for the entire hood. Let's do number 3. Chain up 1, half double crochet into the first stitch. We can see it's on the front side, so we're going to keep it as a front post double crochet. And we can see this one is tucked in behind, so we're going to keep that as a back post double crochet. And you're going to alternate between the 2 of these all the way to the other side. I'll see you there in a moment. At the end of number 3, the second last one will be a front post double crochet, and then the last one is going to be a half double crochet. Turn your work, and let's begin number 4. So at this point, you're going to see a flat edge happening on one side and the other side's curved. So number 4, you're going to chain 1 and half double crochet in the first. So you can see it's tucked in behind, so the first one has to be a back post double crochet to keep the ribbing, and then the next one is a front post double crochet, and you keep alternating between the 2 all the way to the other side, and I'll see you there in a moment. The second last stitch will be a back post double crochet and then a half double crochet into the top of the half. Okay, so let's talk about the sequence of the repeating. And so it looks like this. Let me just come out here. So it looks like this shape right here. This is the back of your head. Let's turn it to the right side of the project. And how can we tell? Well, because the stitch marker is in front. Okay, so let's just get this out. Okay, so this is the back of your head. So if you want to try it on to see how far it's going to go over top of your head, if you do more than what the pattern is suggesting, you will use up more yarn. So let's go over the sequence, because what you've just learned in row number 3 and 4 will repeat. And if you are going to change the size, it has to be on the end of a row 4 finishing. So let's begin to look at the pattern, and then I'm going to leave the rest of this with you to complete the rest of the hood. So back here in the pattern, you're going to repeat rows number 3 and 4 a total of 7 times. However, if you would like a color change, you will only do it 5 times, and then the last 2 repeats you will have a new color, and so you can use the new color then for the last 2 repeats. So if you're not going to worry about changing color and just let it come out of the yarn as it wants, just do rows number 3 and 4 a total of 7 more times. If you decide to make the hood bigger, if you want it more extended over your forehead, you will use up more yarn, but always make sure that you end on a 4th row as you're finishing. I'm going to leave this in your capable hands, and I'll be back in a few seconds, and I'll have that done, and I have to do my homework off camera before I'll see you again, and I'll be right back. So through the miracle of the internet, I have this done. So I did it offline. So what I have is this completely done. I can try it on if I want to. It just goes past my forehead and I'm good. I was actually pointing to my head because I'm an idiot. So last time I left you, we were here. So what I want to do is just trim my work here, and I will fasten that in later. So I'm just going to pull a loop through, and I want to start here. So we have the right side facing out. We can see that here, and we're going to start on this edge. Now in the pattern, it talks about using the half double crochet for the edging. So there is a half double crochet, there is a half, and etc. And you have that all the way through, except for in the back, you have those leftover single crochets that are here, and then you have again those half double crochets that are on the edge. So here what we have is the diameters, and 80 stitches will take you to a 12-inch diameter when it's laying flat across. 76 is 11.5. So each inch is approximately 4 stitches. So that's why I did 80 to 76. The only secret that you got to worry about is that it has to be an even number. So you could have had 74, and you could have like 78, etc., or you can go down even further. So when you're working on this, we're going to equally space out the stitches, and I'm going to show you some tricks to do right at the very back section, because you're not going to want to use all these single crochet, but you are going to want to deal with it. So let's get that done first. So let's get this stitch marker out that was kind of in there. If you took it out already, that's fine. And I want you just to put it at the halfway mark in between. This reminds me of a helmet at this point. And I'm just going to put it there. And so if I want 80 stitches in the round, I need to make sure that I get 40 stitches in this section right up into here, and then another 40 over here. Sometimes what happens where you start spacing stuff and then you get like a 3/4 round and you're running out of stitches, or you have way too much, by putting a marker there, you can say, okay, if I get to 40 here, I can just equally space out the other 40. So let's join. We're going to use that 5mm size H crochet hook. It has to be smaller, so it'll be a little bit tighter for you. And we are going to start. So I've just joined it around a half double crochet post and pulled through, chain 1 and single crochet. So what I'm going to do is just roughly guess where I need to go. So this is a half double crochet thing, so I'm going to say this is 2 and 3, and then I'm going to go to the next half double crochet post. You just got to pull things apart and see it. So I might just put 1 there. So that's 4. And maybe I'll put 2 there, 5 and 6. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get myself just kind of roughly up here, and I'm going to show you what I can do in the back here to be able to eliminate stitches so it looks better. So let's do that. So come across, and I have 30 stitches already, and I want 40 here, but you can see that there is extra here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means that I have to put 10 more. So I'm going to just put 2 into the same stitch if I need to. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 8, and I'll put the last one 9 and 10. Because of the cowl shaping that it's going to have, and because this is going to be behind your neck, it's not going to be so obvious looking. So then what I need to do is jump this stitch marker right into the next stitch and get my other 40 along here. So that's because I'm trying to get 80 stitches all the way around. So that would be how you would kind of manipulate the system, and make sure at the end you meet me there in just a moment. So now I have 40 that's completely all the way around. It looks a little rough, but once you see the next part of making the cowl, it actually works out. So we do not want to turn our work. We just want to jump over, and because you have an even number of stitches, we're going to work our way around. So what you're going to do is that you're going to immediately start in the first single crochet, and in the first single crochet, you're going to make it as a front post double crochet. Make sure it's a nice tight join, okay? And this is going to cause this thing to go into a circle. And then the next one is a back post double crochet. And so what you're doing is you're working along the neckline now, doing front post, back post. And what I need you to do at this point is that we are no longer going to slip stitch to finish anything. We are just going to go in a continuous round. So when we get back around, we immediately just jump over what exists already, and so that we never have a seam line in the cowl at all. So you're just going to circle around with just doing back post and front posts and etc. And I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm coming almost all the way around, and the last stitch should be a back post double crochet because we have an even number. And if it's not, fake it. Okay, so just make sure that it is a back post double crochet. Okay, so this is a back post double crochet here. And so we don't join it, we just rotate the project, and we start immediately again on the first one right here. And we make it a front post double crochet. And the next one is a back post double crochet. And all you're just going to do now is circle this whole area until it measures approximately 8 inches from the length of the single crochet that you started with. And so you'll end up with like a tube shape, and you'll see that it will be nice and relatively even looking. And because of the stitch work, maybe if I actually did the right work, it would be awesome. It will look really quite awesome. And because of the stitch work, it'll also be stretchy, like permanently, because this is what the rib stitch does. And it's a really neat opportunity. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this aside, put it on the TV tonight, and finish the rest of this. And in real filming time, I'll have this done for the morning, and then I'll finish up today's video. And for you, it just means that you're just going to be a few seconds away from this point. So that's what I'm going to do, and just keep going around and around. And the goal is that you want to end at the back side of your project, which is where I will show you to do next. So I'm back, and I did it in front of the TV last night, and I want to get you the orientation. So here's the hood area opening, here's the back. So what I want to do is I want to finish off at the back side. We've been doing a continuous revolution. So once you're at the back there, we're going to slam in our crochet hook. And the next stitch, just use the regular stitches. The next one will be a half double crochet. The next one will be a single. And then the last one is going to be a slip stitch. Okay, so that will bring it close to being perfectly round again. And then you're going to trim off your yarn. Any loose ends that you will have, you're going to want to take care of it with a tapestry needle. If you don't, because it's a wearable, it will come out on you. So just put it through a tapestry needle, just takes a few seconds, and just turn it to the inside. So flip it up to the inside and just drag it back through the same coloring that you were just playing with. Okay, don't let that needle hit to the good side of the work. Just stay within the back, and you will weave it back and forth a total of 3 times. So that was once, slightly different path. Break apart the fibers, just don't go between strands. So that's number 2, and finally number 3. And now your Crohoodie is ready to go. So you can trim that right down. remove any stitch markers that you did have in place, which I did. And then you're good to go. So this here is a Crohoodie. So let's put on the Crohoodie. The first thing you're going to want to do is the bottom cowl. Just flip it and fold most of it to the inside of the opening, like this. And you'll see it popping out through the front, and then you can just slide it on over your head. Okay. So if you want to lower this down, you just have to open it up and pull down like that, or if you want, and then you can just put your coat over top of it and enjoy. So that's how it would look, a Crohoodie, just like that.